And welcome back to Flexible Games, where we are playing Transport Fever. Working on our passenger lines really quick here. I want to spit out a train for these sort of arc lines and maybe get a little bit more growth potential on these outside cities here, because these are my Patreon named cities, and so I want them to prosper, and as a result we're going to add a little bit more service to them, because the whole map I want to be pretty populated. Okay, so we're gonna go from here to here. Knows exactly what line to use. And pink is okay. So this is the northern commuters. And then we're going to have another line down here. And we're going to go which way? Okay, we're going to start with this one and go to this one. And orange, I'm not cool with the orange just because orange is typically like a construction material setup. So I'm going to go yellow on this. I don't think we got one yellow one way over here, but we don't have any crosstalk between this yellow and that yellow, so it's not going to be confusing. And this one's going to be southern commuter. Okay, so we have northern commuter and we have southern commuter. And we're going to add a train. And this is a yellow train. And then how many of these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is going to be southern commuter. And up here, same train style. And this one is, I forgot, blue? No, pink, purple, whatever that color is. And this one is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is going to be northern commuters. Okay, so those cities will take a while, but because they are connected, and if we look at this, this is highly residential. Some commercial, but highly residential connecting over to here, which is also highly residential. So who knows how these people are going to go. A lot of that is going to be commercial traffic. Unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot of industrial movement on that, but I could mitigate that with bus lines. So if I run a bus line with these outside areas, I'll be able to shuffle a whole lot of people coming off this rail down into industrial, and that would probably go a long way to help. Okay, so the next item of business is to try to connect this area down to these two cities. And I was hoping to get a little bit more, look at the people waiting here. I was hoping to get a little bit more growth out of some of these. Like this city is a little stymied on growth, so maybe we could encourage a little bit of that growth by, you know, giving them some options to grow with. And we're gonna just ignore that, take that out, rebuild it. And this here, I want to go straight across this way, and that's not straight across. It's expensive, but worth it. Because we need a little bit more growth coming off of here, so we can cover this really well, and people really close to the line will be most likely to use it. And we got a little bit of industrial growth there. I'm not sure if I if I approve of that, but we'll go with it anyway. Let them sort of develop how they develop, and who knows if my intervention on any of these will actually be beneficial. I don't know. So these cities, look at this city, is really coming to its own. Yep, have to destroy those poor buildings that don't want to upgrade. I wish, I've looked pretty closely to the game files, and I have thus far been unable to figure out a way to control what type of road a city will build with. I wish I could. I wish I could tell it, always build this big, nice style of road. That way it's a lot easier and less intrusive to upgrade it later to a 4-lane. But yeah, we've already got lots of people using these outside lines, and we just hooked these up just a few minutes ago. So we're gonna head into faster simulation, and we need to start thinking about goods and services. So this southern area here covers all or almost all of the industrial area for the hub city. And, usually something like construction material is the first thing that we deliver. Or construction material or food. Those are the two simplest areas. And this one here covers a lot of the commercial. And there's not nearly, it's fascinating, there's not nearly as much commercial in this city as I would think. I mean, it's spread out. There's a lot of commercial sort of spread out. But yeah, there's not as much commercial as I would have hoped, which is interesting. Not sure why that is. If there's just not enough demand for it. I mean, there is a lot of commercial, but you can see there's a markable difference between how much industrial there is and how much commercial there is. So who knows? Who knows what controls the ratios of a city? All right. Yeah, look at the people. 300. Yeah, you can see each one of those people, it's roughly 10 people. So 3 rows, and there's 10 across. So that's 330, 40. But it ups it when it hits a new, like 39 to 40 will increase it, and then 49 to 50 will increase it again. So it's a little looser because your first 10 will go and fill this one out. So it lags behind a little bit. But that's still a considerable number of people. And we have both trains arriving, and we can only hold 120 plus 140. That's 260 people. And there's 370 there. So yeah, we could easily put a new another train on this line. But I'm not sure if I want to save up for that or make it official. But we do need a second station somewhere in these cities. So we've got all of this covered. That's a considerable amount of the city that's covered here. Yeah, I'm not sure how I want to build these. I kind of want these to fill out a little bit more, and that'll help me decide where to build. Yeah, we're going to destroy buildings. I'm sorry, city, but when you build new roads, always build the bigger roads. There's no point in building the smaller roads. I don't know why the city does that. I've looked and looked and looked for some flag or some setting in the game files that controls that, and there doesn't seem to be anything. Plus the fact that you get these thinner versions. Those are really annoying. 2 different versions of road, and most of them you cannot Most of them you cannot build with. All of the thinner versions of the roads, you're kind of stuck without them. So, you know, Transport Titan, this has actually grown quite a bit. Look at that, another road just appeared. This has actually grown quite a bit since we hooked it up. And do we have passengers? We do have some passengers going in between these two cities. Not many, but it is some. You know, once these are flirts, the runtime between the two will be substantially less. So if we look at our northern commuters, it's 8 minutes. Wow, my northern commuters 8 minutes versus 11 minutes on the northeast and northwest. And those are geared for not having two trains on. So unfortunately, right now, I can only have one train on each one of those lines. But when we get the flirts, they're going to be moving so fast and carrying so many people, it won't really matter. So I'm anxious to get that started. So let's look at Eastish here. And you can see there's a huge swath of residential that isn't being covered at all by a train. So one thing we want to do is use that to bring people up to this area and maybe sort of lean this direction with it. You know, not go straight up right to this corner, but come across over here, which means we get a little bit more commercial and industrial coverage. Now we'll have to be a little bit tricky with how we do this. First of all, we're going to be destroying some things. Yeah, we're going to destroy that too. Sorry. Why does this reset again? I don't understand why it keeps resetting on me. Oh, yep, okay. We're going to pause you because that's annoying. I know the city wants to grow. Okay, 240, high speed, that's good. And I think we could, you know, make this a little bit friendlier to this city and angle it out a little bit. Doesn't quite match up. Even if I squish it in here, it doesn't quite match up with that road, but I think that will be fine. Right in here. I'm going to try to move it a little bit more. So right in there, it's kind of got a weird angle to it, but we're not driving to it anyway. So we're going to connect it up to that road and then give this ample space to grow this way. Okay, I could do it a little bit further away from there. That's about perfect. And we're going to stretch this out. Okay, so this road here will come down, and let's see, where do we want? I'm thinking right into the heart of this area here. So we're going to bring this out, and let's make sure we're more or less north with it. And we're going to snuggle it right in here, because you can see you know, there's more and more coverage as you squish it in. So I want to get as much of that residential. We're even going to dial it a little bit more back there. Squish it right in there. And then take this out as much as we want. Well, that might be a little bit much. We don't need to go out that far. But let's connect up the city. Okay. No, see, I don't want it to curve. Don't want it to curve. Curving means that the roads that the city builds are going to go all wonky, and we don't want that. So there's a good curve there. Although I don't like how that's right in here should be good. Then right in here should be good. Now, how that will sort itself out in the city, who knows how the city is going to respond to that. But I do want to get a little bit of potential going up there. So let's connect these two out. And we're going to use this line here and dial it down. It wants to do a big curve, but we'll squish that curve in. Okay, so that is a pretty good line, I think, to take with that. We got a nice gentle curve there. Plenty of potential of connecting this city up with north as well. So that's a good line right there. Okay. So that's one down, and we have several more to go. So let's get this one already set to go, hooked up and built out. That way we can earn a little bit of money and grow these cities a little bit more while we're at it. So we're going to do a new line, not orange. How about green? From here down to here. And again, we have that residential hooking right into a huge amount of commercial and industrial, which will, I mean, the city will respond to that pretty nice. So this is the East-ish exchange. So this is East, North, East, North, Express. I'm going to name these secondary lines expresses, mainly because, you know, to get there normally, a person would have to take a train, go here, take a train, and then go up here. So the express is just if they want to get right up to there. It's good. So this train here will help with that, and this is a green line. So I want to get the Flying Scotsman going, and just the standard. Are there any of them that are cheaper? No. They I mean, the whole, like, one more person per car, I mean, that's not really worth it in my opinion. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So you can go on the East North Express. So there we go. We have another train working on growing these cities here, and hopefully Titan will react, as well as Eastish down here, that we have a whole bunch of area that this can now grow. And look at the roads in here that need upgrading. That is a lot of little stubby roads that go nowhere. So yeah, we have quite a bit of growth that can be done north here now that we're connecting all of this residential, juicy residential, with all that industrial up there. So yeah, we got a little bit of residential connected here, but most of those people probably didn't walk to the station. These are nice and wealthy because they are right next to industrial and commercial. So they don't have to go very far to shop or work, whereas these people out here have to travel quite a ways. So he's going to a shop way down here. He's going down here to this shop. And he is walking all that way. So this is definitely a city I could use a bus system. I've already got the cross tracks going. I could definitely do a bus system, and that would help grow this residential even more. Should help me in the long run. So I do want to do bus systems. I want to get these train systems up and running, and that way I know the growth patterns of all of the cities early on, and then we can build the buses around that. So yeah, just making sure that all these are upgraded. Okay, this is annoying. That is annoying, people. You know, take out the building. I don't care. But don't do that wonky craziness. That is just crazy to do it that way. Yeah, the city is mind-boggling how it's growing. So enough with the curve. I guess the curve is just unavoidable in that sense. Yep, we're going to be removing buildings. Like I said early on in this series, I am going to be merciless when it comes to these cities. Because we need as many people in these cities as possible. The key to that, I believe, is a good layout that doesn't waste a whole lot of space or travel time. So how are these cities growing? Just quickly before the episode's over. Looks like these cities are doing not too bad. Again, with the awkward roads here. This is really conducive to traffic jams. But, you know, I want these also to be a little bit more natural. So yeah, we got good amount of development in here. I'm hoping all these fill in around the stations, as well as over here. It would be great if we had a lot of growth around this station too. That would be even better now that we have connections up to a commercial and industrial area. That should help that out quite a lot. But that'll do it for this episode, and I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.